Hey guys, so for today's video, I am going to be doing some Soot Sprite nails. So to start off, I'm just taking, I think this is called Gumdrop Dreams from Ballpit. It's this really pretty, like, glitter pink polish. It's like a jelly pink with like some iridescent glitters in it. I did end up doing 3 coats of this just to get it really opaque because as you can see here with this first layer here, it is pretty sheer. So like you could just leave it with just this 1 coat. You could also use this as like a topper or something, or like under some other kind of jelly color or whatever. But I just wanted this to be the background for the Soot Sprites. So that's why I ended up doing 3 coats, because I wanted it to be like really opaque. The more layers you do of this, the more opaque it gets. So yeah, I did 3 coats of that, and I cured each coat for 60 seconds. And then after I got that cured, like I do all the time, I just wiped them off real quick with some alcohol to remove that sticky layer. I always remove the sticky layer before I do any kind of nail art, just because that sticky layer does tend to act similarly as a blooming gel. It doesn't make your nail art spread as much as a blooming gel, but it does cause it to spread out enough to be able to like tell that it wasn't, supposed to be spread out like that. So I just wiped those off real quick. Then I went in with the black from Ballpit and a 9mm liner brush, and I just went through and I painted on little circles onto each of the nails. And the circles don't have to be perfect because I'm gonna go in later and kind of like fluff them up a little bit. So if you are recreating this set or doing little Soot Sprites yourself, just know when you do the original circle, it does not have to be perfect because, like I said, you are going to end up fluffing them up in a little bit. But I just went through and I did 2 on each nail. Some of them ended up being a wee bit bigger than what I wanted them to be, but it ended up being fine in the end, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, so I just went through and painted on these circles, and then I cured those for 60 seconds because I did do a second layer of the black on top of this, just because I felt like I kind of had the black spread out pretty thin, so it was pretty it was kind of sheer in some spots. So I wanted to do a second coat just to make sure that the little body part of the little sprites was fully opaque. But the reason why I am doing these little Soot Sprites is because I have recently gotten into watching I think it's pronounced Studio Ghibli. Or it could be Ghibli, I don't know. I've heard other people say Ghibli, so I think that is correct. But I've been hearing people talk about Studio Ghibli films for years, and I don't know, I just never was really interested in them, I guess. But then here recently I've been seeing a lot of people doing different nails for the different movies. Like Howl's Moving Castle is one that I see a lot. I also see a lot of people doing nails with Soot Sprites. I've also seen a lot of My Neighbor Totoro nails. And so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna finally sit down and watch some of these and see what they're all about. I started with My Neighbor Totoro because that is like the #1 that I hear talked about the most. And people love that movie. They say it's great. So I started with that one. And it was good. It's not my favorite of the movies that I've watched, but it was super cute. and I did really love it. And the artwork from these movies is absolutely stunning, and like the music, the soundtrack is so beautiful too. Like these movies are just, they are really good. They're as good as people say they are. But when I was watching My Neighbor Totoro, the little Soot sprites are in it, and I thought they were super cute. I mean, I've been thinking they were super cute when I see other people do them on nails, and like I've seen pictures of them and stuff. I'm like, oh, those are so cute. Like, and then yeah, I finally watched them, and they are so cute. And then they're also in Spirited Away, which is my favorite out of the movies that I've seen. That one is my favorite. That one was just so good. So after watching those two, I was like, I need to do some Soot Sprite nails, because these are they're just these cute little, they're made out of soot, and they're these little fluffy soot guys that run around and create soot in My Neighbor Totoro, and then they like work in the boiler room with the boiler man, and Spirited Away and whatnot. But I just thought they were super cute, and I really wanted to paint them on some nails. I wanted to originally paint them on myself, but I didn't have any nails on. I wasn't putting any nails on because I had a broken nail that I was waiting to heal, and I didn't want to like repaint these nails and all of that, because in a couple weeks I was going to be doing my birthday nails. But anyways, I figured I would just paint them onto some press-ons. Here I did the second coat here, and now I'm just taking my liner brush and kind of dragging out. I didn't add any more polish onto my brush. I just took what was in the middle there and just kind of dragged it out and like flicked it out, and I just kept going around in the circle to fluff them up and make them look more fluffy, you know? And then once I got that done, I did go ahead and cure for 60 seconds. But yeah, like I said, I've been watching these Studio Ghibli movies, and they're so cute. I watched My Neighbor Totoro, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle. What else did I watch? I think it's called The Cat Returns. Yeah, it's called The Cat Returns. That one was cute too. Kiki's Delivery Service and Ponyo. And like I said, my favorite one out of all of them was Spirited Away. Howl's Moving Castle is a very close second. Those two are my favorites so far. And then I would probably say My Neighbor Totoro would be third, and then The Cat Returns would be fourth. Kiki's Delivery Service would be fifth, and then Ponyo would be sixth. I don't know. I wasn't really a huge fan of Ponyo. I know a lot of people love Ponyo, and it was cute, but I don't know. It just, compared to like Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, I don't know. Ponyo just wasn't. I just wasn't feeling it as much. But like I said, it was super cute. There are quite a few more that I need to watch, and eventually I will get to those. But yeah, I don't know why I waited so long to watch these, because they're so good. And like I said, the artwork is absolutely stunning. They're so beautiful, and the soundtrack for each one is so good and like fits so well. And I don't know if you've ever watched a movie where the soundtrack, you're just kind of like, why is this song in here? Like, it just doesn't fit. But the music choices and all of these and like the song choices just fit so well and added so much to the stories that were being told. They're very well done movies, and I really like them. I don't want to like tell too much about them in case anyone hasn't seen them and you're wanting to see them or whatever, but yeah, they definitely are. I would definitely say watch Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle, because those ones are like, I'm biased though because those are my favorite, but yeah, I've really been loving the movies. I do kind of want to do like another nail set, a couple more nail sets actually, because I do kind of want to do one for Spirited Away and one for Howl's Moving Castle. I might do one for my neighbor, my oh my gosh, I can't talk. My neighbor Totoro as well. But I don't know. I definitely want to do a Spirited Away one and a Howl's Moving Castle one because, like I said, those are my favorites. But anyhow, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this play out for a bit until I need to come back and say something. And then after getting those cured, I wiped them off again with some alcohol just to remove the sticky layer off the black. Now I'm going in with the white and that same 9mm liner brush and just painting on the little eyes. Again, I wasn't trying to make them too perfect, just because, I don't know, I just feel like the Soot Sprites aren't like, you know, perfect. They're not like perfect circles. I don't feel like their eyes are like, you know, the perfect eye shape or whatever. So I just kind of did two little ovally circle dots in the middle of the Soot Sprites, and then I cured that for 60 seconds. I did only do one coat of those because it was pretty concentrated there in the middle, just like a small little dot. If you wanted to, you could also do this with a dotting tool, but I just felt like I have a little bit more control with a liner brush over a dotting tool, so I can really get like those circles as precise as I was wanting them to be compared to if I was using a dotting tool. I don't know, that's just my personal preference, but if you want to use a dotting tool, you could use a dotting tool. I think I mentioned it already that I cured this for 60 seconds. And then I went back in with the black and did the little pupils inside of them. And then also did their little arms. And then cured those for 60 seconds. Yeah, so when I was doing their arms, I just basically did like half circles pretty much, either like above their bodies or like below their bodies. And I connected them because I am going to add a little star rhinestone onto it, because in Spirited Away there's a scene where they're holding little stars, uh, and I wanted them to hold the little stars on the nails, so I decided just to connect the lines instead of trying to leave a space where I thought the star charm was going to be, since it's going to get covered up anyways by the star charm. And these are the little star rhinestone charms, whatever you want to call them, that I'm using. And then I'm also using the Macart Super Strong Hold Rhinestone Glue or whatever, and my LGN Shiny Top Coat. And I just took a dotting tool, dipped it in to the rhinestone glue, and placed a little dot down where the stars were going to go. Then I went right on top of that with my top coat. This is how I almost always do, like, charms and rhinestones, is I'll put the rhinestone glue down and then apply the top coat right on top, because I don't like to have to try and go around all of the charms and rhinestones, especially when I'm doing rhinestones, because you don't usually want to top coat rhinestones because it does like cover up the facets and you're not getting that same shine and sparkle as you would if you didn't top coat them. Although with these ones, they're the like resin, the cheap little plastic resin rhinestones, so they really don't have, you know, the shine and sparkle like the glass ones or like the actual like crystal rhinestones or whatever. So it really didn't matter here, but I didn't want to top coat over these because I didn't want them to have that like bubble look that they get when you do top coat rhinestones. But anyhow, like I said, this is how I pretty much always apply rhinestones and charms. Like I said, because I don't want to have to go around and be careful and not get top coat on anything. Also, I feel like it helps to smooth out the rhinestone glue a little bit, and it also helps to prevent like seeing that lump of rhinestone glue that seeps out when you press the rhinestone into the glue. It just kind of evens it out and smooths it all out, because I don't like when you can see the rhinestone glue that has seeped out from underneath of your rhinestone or charm, and then you just have that like glob of rhinestone glue around it. I feel like it looks so messy and like unfinished, and I just don't like the look of it. So this is why I do it this way. And then I stuck the rhinestones on. You did see me do the pinky one like fully, and then I went through and put the rhinestone glue on each one of them, and now I'm going through and top coating all of them, because that rhinestone glue that I'm using is super thick and it holds on to stuff really well. Even when you're like placing on your charms and rhinestones, they don't move, they just sit there. You can see they're not moving. Well, you can kind of see there for a quick second that those stars aren't moving on that pinky nail. They're sat right where I put them, because like I said, that rhinestone glue is super thick. It doesn't level out at all. Basically how you put that rhinestone glue is how it is staying. So I was able to do this all at once, basically, instead of having to do one nail, you know, flash cure it, do the next nail, flash cure, like how you sometimes have to do with rhinestone glue, because stuff can go sliding across the nail and whatever. So I was able to just real quick put all the rhinestone glue and then all the top coat on, and then put all of my little stars on. I'm sitting there counting the stars because I thought I miscounted them and didn't pull out enough. So I was like sitting there counting them and looking at them. I'm like, something's not, like, it wasn't adding up for me. I don't know what the deal was there. But anyhow, after I got the little stars on, I did go ahead and cure that for 60 seconds. And this is the finished result. They came out so cute. You can see they got progressively bigger the more I did. So like the pinky, they're pretty small, and then you get up to the thumb here and they're quite large. I did want them to take up quite a bit of space on the nail because I didn't want a whole lot of empty space, but I also didn't want them that large either, to where they were kind of overlapping there. I did want there to be space between them, but I wanted them to take up quite a bit of the nail, like how they are here on the middle nail. But they are super cute. I love how they turned out. This was just a really quick and easy set to do. Like, anyone could do it. It is definitely a easy set. And if you just wanted something super quick, like, you could do something like this, because it was quick. But yeah, they're super cute. And I really like the background with it. I feel like this iridescent glitter pink background really fits with them. I don't know. I just think they're super cute. And looking at them here, I realize, like, they could be flipped either way, like how I painted, how they are. Like, the top could be the bottom, or the bottom could be the top, or whatever. But anyhow, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.